So the Caitlyn Clark jersey retirement ceremony has created some of the funniest discourse I have ever seen.
2 basketball icons, 1 historic number, and a date that set social media ablaze. When Iowa announced they were retiring Caitlyn Clark's jersey number 22 on February 2nd, no one anticipated the frenzy that would follow.
Honestly, it has created genuinely some of the funniest discourse on social media I've ever seen. Because obviously, she's wearing number 22. And they have a game on 2.2, the 2nd of February. They are playing on the 2nd of February at home in Iowa.
Meanwhile, 1,000 miles away, South Carolina was preparing something equally monumental, retiring A'ja Wilson's number 22 on the very same date. What happened next? It disrupted basketball Twitter and ignited one of the most polarizing debates of 2024. Get ready for the drama that has basketball enthusiasts everywhere taking sides. This whole situation felt like a scripted drama. Everyone could sense the tension building, but no one could prevent it. Iowa University had been organizing this celebration for months, and honestly, their decision made perfect sense. Caitlyn Clark, the face of collegiate basketball, the record-shattering phenom, and the player who made women's basketball must-watch television, deserved a tribute worthy of her legacy.
Obviously, they are going to retire number 22's jersey on 2.2. They had planned this months, by the way, because they've had the jersey. People saw it in wherever Iowa play. And they saw the jersey up.
Here's the backstory many don't know. Iowa had been carefully planning this event since the start of the season. Sharp-eyed fans had noticed Clark's number 22 jersey subtly displayed in the rafters during early games. While it wasn't officially retired yet, everyone understood it was on the horizon. The university even requested a home game on February 2nd when the season's schedule was crafted. Why February 2nd? Because it's February 22nd, the ideal date to honor number 22.
Obviously, it's going to be 2.2. Why wouldn't it be? Because, why would it not be 2.2? Because she wears number 22.
The anticipation for this event reached fever pitch. When tickets were released, they didn't just sell out. They became a hot commodity. Prices skyrocketed, reaching as much as $1,000 per ticket.
It just so happens that there is another number 22. And, the way the WNBA media are sharing spotlight? They're sharing spotlight with everything.
That's NBA playoff level pricing for a college basketball jersey ceremony. But that's the Caitlyn Clark phenomenon. She's not just breaking scoring records, she's setting attendance, viewership, and now ticket sales records too. Meanwhile, in South Carolina, another celebration was in the works. The Gamecocks decided this was the perfect time to pay tribute to their all-time great, A'ja Wilson. Wilson's legacy speaks for itself. Olympic gold medalist, WNBA MVP, and one of the most dominant figures in basketball history. South Carolina had been eagerly awaiting the right moment to retire her jersey number, and they too landed on February 2nd.
The first post, why the F would y'all retire her jersey the same day as A'ja? So Aja's getting her jersey retired. Why would they retire? Because they both wore number 22.
The contrast in ticket prices was striking. While Iowa fans were paying thousands, tickets for Wilson's ceremony were priced at just $64. This disparity soon became a focal point in the brewing debate. Wilson's supporters saw it as a sign of underappreciation, while Clark's fans argued it reflected Clark's unmatched impact on the sport. The timing of South Carolina's announcement raised eyebrows. Their plans were revealed after Iowa had already publicized their event. The university had every right to pick any date. It was, after all, their chance to honor Wilson, their champion and local legend. Yet, choosing the same date as Clark's ceremony left many in the basketball community questioning the decision. The response was immediate. Fans noticed the overlap within minutes of South Carolina's announcement. At first, it was casual curiosity. Then came the questions, followed by theories. Before long, the internet was ablaze. What's important to understand is that both schools had valid reasons for their dates. Iowa wanted to emphasize the symbolic connection between February 2nd and Clark's number 22. South Carolina sought to host their event during a home game in a month when Wilson, a busy WNBA star, could be present. Both decisions were logical individually, but together, they sparked a storm. The clash wasn't just about two ceremonies on the same day. It became a collision of eras. Wilson represents the established elite, the decorated champion who has achieved it all. Clark embodies the next generation, a social media sensation drawing unprecedented attention to women's basketball. The scheduling conflict highlighted deeper issues within the sport: the balance between honoring history and celebrating its future, debates around traditional success versus modern popularity, and discussions about the criteria for honoring athletes. A simple scheduling choice turned into a broader commentary on respect and recognition in women's basketball. Amid the uproar, one thing was clear: both Clark and Wilson deserved their moments. Both had earned the right to have their jerseys retired. Both had made extraordinary contributions to the sport. But in the fast-paced world of social media, two ceremonies on the same day weren't just a coincidence. They were fuel for controversy. As news spread and debates intensified, what should have been a celebratory day for both players started to resemble a battleground for their fans, and the real drama was only just beginning. The moment South Carolina announced their date for Wilson's jersey retirement, basketball Twitter went into overdrive. This wasn't just fans arguing. Analysts, ex-players, journalists, and casual followers all jumped into the fray, creating the year's most heated basketball debate. Initial reactions were mixed. Some labeled it disrespectful, while others accused Iowa of trying to overshadow Wilson's legacy. But Clark's supporters brought receipts. They highlighted that Iowa's plans had been in place for months, with evidence showing her jersey already hanging in the arena earlier in the season. Their case was straightforward. Iowa chose February 2nd for its connection to number 22. It wasn't about disrespect. It was about meaningful symbolism. The argument escalated when ticket prices entered the mix. One viral tweet summarized the drama. Tickets for Caitlyn's jersey retirement, $1,000. Tickets for Aja's jersey retirement, $64. Explain that. This comparison became the focal point of debates. Supporters of Wilson used it to argue that the WNBA star wasn't getting the respect she deserved. Meanwhile, Clark's fans viewed it as undeniable evidence of her groundbreaking influence on the game's popularity. Then came the geographical arguments. As one tweet pointed out, they're on opposite sides of the country, in different arenas. How does it even matter? It was a fair argument. After all, the events were over 1,000 miles apart. But in the age of social media, physical distance doesn't hold much weight when the fight is for attention and headlines. One irony that fueled the conversation was how many Wilson supporters claimed they didn't care about Caitlyn Clark, while tweeting about her incessantly. As one user put it, "Y'all swear you don't care about Caitlyn, but you can't stop talking about her. Make it make sense." The debate took a historical turn when basketball veterans joined the discussion. They reminded everyone that neither Clark nor Wilson was the first star to don the number 22. Legends like Christy Sides and Stephanie White, who wore the number at Purdue, were suddenly part of the narrative. This perspective added a layer of respect for the Trailblazers, prompting questions like, why aren't we talking about these pioneers? What really had people speculating was how the ceremonies might unfold on February 2nd. A popular tweet predicted, instead of celebrating Aja, they're going to spend the whole ceremony talking about Caitlyn. Others guessed Wilson would address the controversy in her speech, possibly adding more fuel to the fire. The intensity of the discourse even pulled in media personalities who typically avoid drama. Some urged unity, suggesting the dual retirements could symbolize a collective celebration of women's basketball. Others criticized the missed opportunity to showcase both stars on separate occasions. This social media storm highlighted deeper divides within the sport's fan base. It wasn't just about scheduling conflicts, it became a clash of perspectives. Traditionalists prioritized championships and accolades, while the new wave emphasized cultural impact and the ability to draw new audiences. Tweets ranged from sarcastic jabs, "What, you wanted them to wait until February 22nd?" to serious critiques. Respect for those who paved the way is lacking. The back and forth was relentless, with neither side backing down. Interestingly, the controversy boosted interest in both events. Media outlets that might have covered just one ceremony were now preparing to report on both. Ironically, the rivalry created more buzz for each celebration than they might have garnered individually. But questions lingered. Would this online drama spill into real life? Would the ceremonies themselves be overshadowed by the controversy? And most importantly, how would Clark and Wilson handle being drawn into a conflict they never asked for? As February 2nd approached, it became clear that what should have been a celebration of two incredible athletes had become a larger commentary on women's basketball. This was no longer just about jersey retirements. It was about the sport's evolution, its growing pains, and the challenges of balancing tradition with progress. Let's take a step back to understand what Clark and Wilson represent. A'ja Wilson embodies traditional excellence. Olympic gold medalist, WNBA MVP, NCAA champion. She's the definition of proven greatness, respected for her dominance and the legacy she's built with South Carolina. On the other hand, Caitlyn Clark represents a new era. She's not just an athlete, she's a cultural force. Her logo threes, no-look passes, and record-breaking performances have turned her into must-see TV. Clark isn't just breaking records, she's drawing new fans, filling arenas, and commanding ticket prices that rival NBA playoff games. This divide between old school and new school values is at the heart of the debate. Traditionalists argue that success is measured by championships and awards. The modern fan base points to cultural influence and the ability to grow the sport's audience. Critics of Clark dismiss her as a flashy player with no substance. All she does is shoot logo threes and pass, they say. But supporters fire back. If it's so easy, why isn't every point guard doing it? The truth is, both Clark and Wilson have transformed the game in their own ways. The controversy has also raised questions about how women's basketball manages its milestones. Should programs coordinate to avoid overlapping events? Or is this kind of conflict inevitable as the sport grows and creates more moments worth celebrating? The irony is that both Clark and Wilson have shown nothing but mutual respect in their public statements. The drama exists almost entirely within their fan bases, fueled by the amplifying effects of social media. Even the ticket price disparity tells an important story. The fact that a college ceremony can command $1,000 tickets reflects how far women's basketball has come. At the same time, the lower prices for Wilson's event highlight the ongoing challenge of valuing achievements in the sport. There's a poetic angle to consider. Two number 22s being honored on February 2nd in separate parts of the country. It could have been a unifying moment, a shared celebration of women's basketball. Instead, social media turned it into a competition. This debate has also sparked meaningful conversations about honoring the sport's history. Pioneers like Christy Sides deserve recognition, and this moment has reminded fans of the foundational players who paved the way for today's stars. As February 2nd nears, both ceremonies promise to be unforgettable. Iowa will celebrate a player who's redefined women's college basketball, while South Carolina will honor a hometown hero who's reached the pinnacle of the sport. Both stories matter. Both legacies deserve to be told. Ultimately, women's basketball is big enough to celebrate multiple stars, achievements, and paths to greatness. The real shame would be letting social media drama overshadow what should be a joyous day for the sport. Two players, two programs, two well-deserved celebrations. That's the story we should focus on. As fans, we should embrace the growth and diversity of women's basketball instead of turning it into a battle. When February 2nd arrives, let's remember what this is really about. honoring two incredible athletes who've changed the game. Whether you're Team Clark or Team Wilson, both deserve their moment. And maybe, just maybe, we can celebrate them together. And there you have it. The drama, the history, and the heart of women's basketball, all wrapped up in one unforgettable debate. But at the end of the day, it's not about whose jersey retirement matters more. It's about celebrating the growth of the game, the stars who light up the court, and the fans who bring the passion. Whether you're inspired by Caitlyn Clark's electrifying highlights or A'ja Wilson's legendary dominance, there's one thing we can all agree on. Women's basketball is thriving, and the best is yet to come. If you loved this breakdown, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell for more stories that dig deeper into the game we love. And hey, let us know in the comments. What do you think this controversy says about the future of women's basketball? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.